just check, see what's going on. Let me see. So it says that I'm live on Kick, and looks like we are also live on YouTube. All right, man, looks like everything's working great. Fantastic. All right, now, welcome back, everybody. My name is Ranger. I am the Trash Gamer, and we're back. Gonna do some gold farming, I think. Some PvP. Let me just turn on my laptop. I didn't think I was gonna need it, but yeah, I think I might. I also want to have a discussion. I've been seeing a lot of videos creep up lately on discussion about new players in WoW and how poses quite a difficult. It's a steep learning curve. I think when it comes to new players, unlike many of the popular games that are out today, right? I mean, when it comes to Fortnite, right? You download it, you install it, um, fire it up, and it's pretty intuitive. Start shooting people. It's not that hard to really understand. Um, WoW is a different animal. So, what is it that Blizzard is doing to try to bring new players, right? Us veterans, us people that have been playing for years and years and years and years. I mean, this is really kind of nothing, right? It's nothing for us. Um, but we're not talking about myself. We're not talking about someone that's been playing the game for over 15 years, right? We're talking about how would I introduce this game to my son and his friends, right? How would I get them interested? How would I get them to want to spend their hard-earned allowance and play? I think uh, I think it's quite a challenge that Blizzard's facing. Uh, there's no denying WoW is still very popular. Contrary to popular belief, I don't believe that the game is dying, not by any stretch of the means. I think there's a lot of things that have changed. I think the player base is really split. Um, there's a huge barrier to entry when it comes to retail. Um, I think PvP is very difficult. I think the game overall has become quite complicated. Um, that even for veteran players like myself, I used to raid. I've done. I can check a lot of boxes of things that I've done in this game. Um, and then I got into PvP, and I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Like PvP is way, in my opinion, way harder than raiding, right? It's just such a steep learning curve. There's supposed to be this whole idea of brackets and skill level and separation of players, that way you're not fighting gladiators the very first time that you step into the arena. Hello, hello, hello to everyone who just tuned in. I'm just having a little bit of a discussion about how do we bring in new players? How do we keep the game fresh? I'm talking about right now my experiences in PvP. Um, like I said, I've played the game for a great many years, and I've checked a lot of boxes, done a lot of different rating. Nothing crazy, didn't do any mythic level rating, but definitely have run some heroics and done a lot of things in the game. Um, and I think that PvP is very difficult. It's very hard. I think that the best rating I had, 1600. I'm not good at all. I mean, hence the name, right? Like I tell you guys exactly what's up from the beginning. I'm not going to stand out here in front and make it seem like I'm a great player. I'm not, but I am the average player base, right? So I am that gamer dad, right? I mean, it's in my DNA. Gaming's in my DNA. I've never been able to let it go, no matter how hard I try. Um, that's why I decided to put myself out there, and go out on a limb, and try this, right? Because why not? I think maybe I might have some good ideas, might have some insight, might have some things. What up, Kyle? Too bad you're busy today, bro. Hey, I don't know if you noticed, but did your emoji kind of bounce around the screen there? Because that's something I set up. I spent a little time today setting up alerts and um, trying to get Kick to look as pretty as possible. So, like, can you see the little follower goal and viewership and all that stuff? Can you see it bouncing around the screen there? Yep. It looks like it's doing it to me. That's cool, man. That's cute. So, yeah, um, I've seen a lot of videos lately. I've seen a lot of videos lately. Is the chat scrolling on the screen, by the way? I think that it is. Man, I need to get my second monitor hooked back up because this is awful. This feels bad. All right, cool. Yeah, man, I spent a little time trying to make this thing look as cool as possible. Um, but yeah, man, I've just been talking about the barrier to entry and PvP. Like I know, and Kyle's just as experienced as I am. He's a classic WoW player. He played many different expansions. Maybe not for very long, but he did try a great many of them. Um, WoW's been a game that we always go back to, and I think that PvP is crazy. I think that it's incredibly difficult, which is why I've tried to branch out and do other things. Um, I'm trying to do. I'm on this gold farming kick right now. Um, I'm not gonna get back into PVE stuff because it's just way too time consuming. I don't have the schedule to carve out 3 or 4 hours for raiding a couple times a week. That was the kind of stuff that got me in trouble with the misses. So that's not gonna happen. I have to be able to play WoW at my convenience and do what I can do when I have the time to do it. Um, and that's hard. But if you were to think, if we were to stop and we were to think about the just the basics of this game, right? How do you learn how to play your character? How do you like? It's not easy. It's not easy. I think Classic is kind of a simple game. I think that's why there's going to be such a resurgence, especially when WoW hardcore servers get released. I think it's going to be huge. I think it's going to bring a massive amount of players back because they want to experience it, right? They want to have that experience of trying to get to 60 without dying. That's very difficult, man. I played yesterday for a couple of hours. I was messing around because I have a plan, or at least I thought I did. I think I'd like to play a warrior, and I was messing around on the PTR. I spent a couple of hours because it takes forever to level, right? It takes forever, and I'm messing around on a warrior and checking out professions and seeing if blacksmithing and mining would be a thing. But there was so much competition for nodes and how many materials was I gathering? How hard was it to fight the mobs? That kind of stuff. And I'm kind of getting my way through it. I get to level 9 and I get a little overzealous and I fight a level 10 prowler trying to complete a quest and I got smoked. It's way too easy to die in that game, right? And I'm a veteran player. It's just one of those things, right? I don't know what happened. I didn't dodge. I didn't parry. I didn't block. But I just got hit too hard. fighting a mob one level above me, and I got killed. It's it's really easy for that kind of stuff to happen. So I think that Blizzard's going in the right direction. I think they're listening to the community, which is great. I think these classic hardcore servers are going to be well received. Um, I really, really, truly believe that the next step that Blizzard needs to take is Classic Plus. And then I think that would totally change the entire dynamic of the game. But I've listened to some opinions that there's too much in the game. There's too many mounts. There's too many transmog pieces. There's too much content to devour that maybe WoW needs a complete and hard reset. My particular suggestion, my personal opinion when it comes to this, I think WoW should come to console. I would absolutely be over the moon. I would give up the 15 plus years that I've played, all of the stuff that I've earned, all of the achievements, everything that I've done on these numerous different servers and over the years. I would give it up if I could kick back and play WoW on console. Like the idea of just kicking back and playing WoW with a controller seems fun. It's a challenge. I don't exactly know how they would go about doing that, but I think it's possible. I've seen videos of people playing, doing that kind of stuff. So, um, there's a lot of different things out there. But there was a really good video that I watched, and I'd like to share it with you guys. I'll play it in the background while I check my mailbox and do all of this boring housekeeping stuff. Um, and I think it's really good. I think he articulates himself very well, probably much better than I can. But that's what happens when you've been doing this kind of stuff for a long time, right? You're not a lowly newbie streamer like myself. So shout out to Vinruki. Thank you for the video. 100% agree. I'm gonna play it in the background. I'll throw my own 2 cents in whenever I feel it's appropriate. Um, while that's playing, I'm gonna do some housekeeping stuff here. But before right before I do that, look, check that out, man. So everything stays in your mailbox for 30 days, right? So if there's 28 days left, that means I sold the items 2 days ago, right? We all kind of understand that. There's another 309 gold right there. So in the last 2 days, selling 309 gold worth of stuff. And all of this is primarily coming from Stratholme runs. So I go in there, do an entire run. It takes me about an hour to complete. I do both live and undead side. And whatever I get. I post in the auction house. And yeah. So that's another 309 gold in my pocket. Easy money. Runeclaw seems to be selling like crazy. I just want to show you guys that I still have my Skullflame shield. So I had a double drop a couple weeks back, I believe. The first one sold immediately, and I sold it for 3.6k, I believe. Yeah, almost 3,700. And then this one, as you can see, the price is already down 1,000 gold, and it still hasn't sold. But that's okay; it'll sell eventually. And even if I were to sell that thing for 1,000 gold, like I'd be okay with that. I just cannot believe that I had farmed Stratholme and done all those things so many times, never seen a Skullflame shield, and then in one blessed run, I get two. I'm gonna cut a short for that eventually, as soon as I can learn how to edit a little bit better. That's part of the fun of all this, man. Is I'm trying to learn how to do all of this stuff. I want to do it on my own. Um, but yeah, let me fire up this video in the background, and we can mosey on
Love to see some new faces in the AWC. Sadly, there's almost nobody playing PvP anymore. I'd say there's nobody playing PvP, but yeah, there's not a lot of new people playing World of Warcraft. I mean, World of Warcraft is not a very accessible game. You know what I mean? Here's the biggest problem with World of Warcraft, okay? Like, kids these days are like mega zoomers. Even I find myself, I'm like this. I just want, like, this is the TikTok age, you know? Like, we want our instant gratification. We don't have to, like, want to do anything. Like, let me give you a for instance, okay? Like, let's do a little thought experiment, okay? Little thought experiment, chat. Okay? Imagine
no sales on this
you're
guy.
A kid, and you're looking for a new video game to play. And you're browsing YouTube, and you see two games. The first game you see is World of Warcraft 3v3 Arena, okay? And you're watching Peekaboo, and he's on his sub-rogue, and oh my god, he's looking fly. Peekaboo is making plays. He's cheap-shotting this guy, he's gouging this guy, he's blind-sapping that guy, he's one-shotting that guy. He's a hero, he's a legend, he's the two-time, gets the dub. And you're thinking, wow, I want to be like Peekaboo when I grow up. So you look and you want to try World of Warcraft. You're like, I want to play 3v3 Arena. That sounds awesome. I want to play Sub-Rogue. So you buy World of Warcraft. You download World of Warcraft. You make your character. And then you're like, wait, what? Can I just play Arena? No. You have to level. Okay, well, I guess I'll level. And then you level up. Okay, you level up your rogue so you could be like Peekaboo. Okay, can I play now? No, you can't play now. Now you have to grind honor gear. And on top of grinding honor gear, you also need to start working on your crafted gear because you want to have the right embellishments. Well, what are embellishments? Well, embellishments are these little additions that you can add to your gear that make you a lot more powerful. And if you don't have them, you're probably screwed. Okay, well, I guess I'll do that too. So what do I need to do? Like my campaign?
Servus, my name is Old Moo, and today I will tell you everything about Old Pro and why it is the best all-in-one.
Yeah, skip the ad. So far, like, I mean, he's 100% correct, right? Someone's gonna go like, oh man, PvP looks so cool. Like, I want to be like Peekaboo. I want to play Sub-Rogue. I want to jump into the arena. This is what I want to do. This looks awesome. So they get all pumped up. They download the game. They pay their sub. They're like, man, it's cannot believe I have to pay all that money to play this game. But okay, no, I want to give it a shot. And they log in. They create their sub-rogue. Or they create their rogue character. And they log in. Give me one sec, man. Phone's ringing. Oh, that's nobody. Nobody I want to talk to. Anyways. So they do all that, and then they're like, "Oh man, I have to level, like exactly like you said. What do you mean? Like I can't just join the arena. I can't just do what I just saw in this video. I can't just do all that." And they're like, "Nah, it's not gonna happen. Like, you gotta level." So that's a huge obstacle, right? And I think that almost immediately, 75% of people are going to be like, nah, I'm cool. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to level a character all the way from 1 to 70. Even though it only takes a matter of a couple of days now. I mean, whereas if you rewind and go back to classic WoW, you're talking 3 or 4 months worth of active gameplay. Right? I can distinctly remember making level 40. And remember, I was in the Army at the time. So I did have a lot of things on my plate. But on my downtime, I did play WoW quite a bit. And I remember leveling my first toon, a hunter, which, you know, that's how bad I was at the game back then. And I remember hitting level 40, and it took me 5 days playtime. 5 days. That's a lot. That's a lot of time invested, and I wasn't even max level. I was 40. I just got to my mount, and it took me 5 days playtime. But that's not the case anymore. Retail WoW, I think it's fairly quick. I think you move at a pretty rapid pace until about the last 10 levels, and then it kind of slows down a bit. But the gameplay is good, right? I think that once you get into the questing and you're like, okay, this is what we got to do, this is what we're doing, I think it's fun. But that's my own personal opinion. Like, I don't know how that would feel in the eyes of a new player. So, I don't know. I think that the barrier to entry is too high. So, WoW's going to hang on to us old dogs, us people that already know how to play, even if we're not very good, right? Like, not. I'll be the first one to raise my hand and tell you that I'm not the greatest at this game. As a matter of fact, I've become quite lazy, to the point that I don't even want to learn rotations. It's too overly complicated. It's too many buttons, too many keybinds. I can't do it. Too much going on. And then you want me to interrupt, and then you want me to CC, and then you want me to do this, and you want me to do that, and all while running my rotation flawlessly. It's a lot, man. It's very high skill ceiling. Whereas my other example with Fortnite, you log in, right? It's a free game. You download it, you jump in, you point, you shoot, and that's it. And you'll learn eventually, and eventually, if you try hard enough, you get skilled enough, you'll win. I 100% agree. So, like, if you go into this exactly as Kyle's saying, the story is great, man. And WoW does a fantastic job. They're unmatched, right? As far as storytelling goes. Everybody gives them shit a lot for things that they don't like or things that they wish they would improve on. But at the end of the day, like, it's a massive role playing game, right? Blizzard is unmatched when it comes to that. They will grab you from one cinematic, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, I have to know how that story ends. I have to know what's going on. I have to. And I 100% agree. Like, you're not gonna grab the attention of someone that needs that instant gratification, like he was saying in the video. Um, but leveling is fun, right? Kyle and I have both leveled numerous characters to max level, and it is fun. It's an adventure. It gets boring after about the third or fourth tune that you're bringing up to max level. Like, you're kind of like, oh God. And then you're looking for other ways to, like, well, how do we cheese the system? How can we speed this up? But I mean, I've seen it with my own eyes. Kyle was like, oh, I want to play a rogue. He doesn't have a rogue, so he goes and levels a rogue, and within 3 days, he's max level. That's pretty good, man. 3 days worth of investment. He's max level. He's run about 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 hours worth of PvP, depending upon how much he wins. Maybe not even that much. Let's say maybe 3 or 4 hours max. You win a couple games, you lose a couple games, and then you'll have your honor gear, and you're ready to step into the arena at that point. And maybe 4 days worth of investment, 5 days at most. So it just depends. But there is a huge barrier, right? So just like he's saying, if you catch a video and you're like, man, I really want to do that, this is not the game for you. You're not going to be able to just log in and do that. There are boosts, right? You can pay Blizzard extra money and you can skip all that crap. Except for that, I think, the last 10 levels, I think you can get a level 60, right? But anyways, we'll go back to the video.
Campaign, do it up. All right. Now that you've got your honor gear, you need to start queuing, and you need to work on your conquest gear. Don't worry, you are way behind on gear and you're at a big disadvantage, but that's really no problem. Oh, wait, you're actually really screwed because you don't have any add-ons. Okay, so what you really need to do is you need to go download a program called CurseForge, okay? Now download CurseForge, and you can get these different add-ons, okay? So you're going to need S Arena so you can track all your diminishing returns. You're going to need to set up Tell Me When so you can see like when your abilities and procs are up to do optimal damage. You know, you're going to need to set up Omni CD so you can see your teammates' abilities. You need to set up Omni Bar so you can track the enemy abilities. And then on top of that, you're going to need to get details. So whenever you get one shot, you can try to figure out what killed you immediately. Okay, now let me know when you get all of that set up. Okay, great. Now your gear still sucks, so you're going to have to grind that out for a little bit to be on an even playing field. And I know you're just getting one shot all over the place, but you're going to figure it out eventually. And that's why you need to download Mez's Weak Aura package, because even though you're not exactly sure what's going to kill you, when enough horns and whistles go off, you'll be able to figure it out. Okay, and then it's like, what the fuck? Alt F4. Okay? Like,
no joke.
That's why new people are a little intimidated when it comes to World of Warcraft PvP. Now, imagine that same person tunes into like a Counter-Strike tournament, and he's watching Fraud. Fraud probably hasn't played in a million years, but it's all I know. Okay, he's watching Fraud from Complexity from 2008, op people. And he's like, oh my god, Fraud's so good at opping, I want to op. And then he downloads the game and starts playing. And that's it. The end. You know, like, it's a pretty jarring comparison. And I feel like it's the biggest obstacle when it comes to World of Warcraft PvP. What's up, Zarya? It's the biggest obstacle when it comes to World of Warcraft is it's very difficult. An MMORPG, and listen, I have to give a lot of credit to the developers, because for us who've been around for a long time, the gearing process has gotten a lot better over time. You know what I mean? Like, I do think there's a lot of positives to this expansion.
110% agree. Dragonflight has nailed the issue when it comes to gearing. It is absolutely fantastic. It feels so good. I can take a tune from 60 to 70, and I can do some questing, I can do some PvP, and as long as I can amass about, let's say, 12,000 honor by the time I cap, I could cap a tune and turn around and completely gear that tune immediately. It's the best feeling ever to be able to ding 70, fly back to the capital city, buy all of my honor gear, and be ready to go. Almost ready, right? I mean, you still got to get some enchants and some gems. There's things that you can do to further enhance that. But let's say you didn't have any of that, and you only had your honor gear. You are essentially ready to go. Now, you're going to fight people that are way more geared than you are, unfortunately. But if you can keep grinding, eventually you will get your conquest gear. And they got rid of that crap like it was in Shadowlands, where we had to get honor gear and then turn around and level that honor gear up 7 or 9 levels or whatever the hell it was. And it was a ridiculous grind. So you had to PvP forever just to get this honor gear finally leveled up all the way so that you could finally queue for arenas. And then you got your conquest gear. I'll see you later, bro. You get your conquest gear. And then you had to further level that too. So like that wasn't even best in slot gear. It was ridiculous. Like Dragonflight hit the nail, boom, right on the head. It's perfect. Once you get your honor gear, that's your honor gear, and then you can get conquest gear and you'll build that up slowly. And then once you have your conquest gear, like that's it. That is your best in slot PvP gear. It's perfect. Leaps and bounds better than gearing of past expansions. So, very good. Welcome change. Back to the video.
I feel like they've done a really good job making it more convenient and better for us, but that doesn't change the fact that it is extremely complicated to play this game. If you were a new player in World of Warcraft, good luck.
Right.
Is all I'm saying. Good frickin' luck. You know? So that's why I think a lot of people, as sad as it is to say, and I think it's important to at least admit this, because then maybe in the future we can move forward and make it better for people to, you know, try World of Warcraft and play PvP, because that would be ideal. But I think it's important to admit that it's a lot easier for people to just play other games. You just log on and play.
Yep.
That's it. Like, you just play League, you just play Dota, you just play Counter-Strike, you just whatever you want. You know what I mean? The issue is the elitism. The elitism shouldn't even exist, though. You think when I play Overwatch, I care about elitism? No. I just queue up and I can play. I download Overwatch and I play. There's no elitism. I just get ranked. There's enough people playing where I just queue, and if I suck, I get put into bronze, and if I'm pretty good, then I get put into, you know, gold, and if I'm a little better than good, I get to be diamond, and you know what I mean? I'm just playing against people that are relatively skill level. There's no elitism gatekeeping it. The only reason there's elitism is because I feel like the community is relatively small, so it's hard to actually get into groups. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where I think solo shuffle, this is actually what I believe. I believe, and people are going to hate me for saying this, I believe the future of WoW PvP is solo shuffle.
Pause. I 100% agree. I think that that's exactly where this community is headed. I think that that is the ideal play style. I think that's how people are going to get their ranked matches in, is through solo shuffle. Now, it's not perfect, but it's really good. Solo shuffle is extremely fun. There's not enough people in it. Unfortunately, we're going through a drought, you could say, when it comes to healers. So queue times are astronomical. So that's not fun, right? It's never fun to wait 30 minutes, 45 minutes to play one round of solo shuffle. But that's what it is. At least that's what it's been lately. But solo shuffle was very, very good, man. I mean, Blizzard had the right idea. They gave us an outlet for those of us that don't have a list full of friends that are high-level PvPers. We don't have all of those things. You know, we have people that want to play this game all the time. They gave us an avenue in which to play. So it's good, man. Like, it's really good. Solo shuffles is a lot of fun. Unfortunately, it's turned into, I mean, you know, this community, they always like to pick on the weakest player, and that's kind of what it is. It's like you just train somebody to death. It doesn't actually train you out of PvP, but it's a fairly easy way to gain some rating. I forgot to put this on. Gain some rating, and get your gear. At the beginning of the expansion, it was so much fun. There was a lot of participation, and queue times weren't that bad. Maybe 10 minutes for DPS. Pretty good. But yeah. Unfortunately, no one wants to heal. So that's where our biggest problem is right now, is no one wants to heal. So that's kind of put a damper on a lot of things, but I know for me, I haven't queued solo shuffle. I've tried, but I just got tired of waiting, right? I got interested in doing other things. But solo shuffle, I do agree. I think something to this effect, played out a little bit better, is going to be the future. So we'll see. But back to the video.
And I think there is a lot of things that need to be done to make it as ideal as possible. But I'm telling you, a solo queue mode is the only reason that I feel like World of Warcraft gains popularity in PvP. And I think in Season 1 of Dragonflight, when people played Solo Shuffle, when it was new, it was exciting, it was fresh, there was lots of people queuing, the queue times weren't too long. People finally got to play the game. There's so many people that want to play PvP, but they just sit in LFG all day long. And then they play one game in LFG, and then they get kicked out of the group, and then they're back to LFG. So Solo Shuffle was actually like their godsend, where they could just play. Oh my god, I've got an hour, I'm gonna log on, I'm gonna play some Solo Shuffle. Great, I'm in this game, I get to play, it's fun, I'm gaining my rating, I'm getting my rewards, this is amazing. Yes. And then obviously in season 2, with like ratings being gate kept and stuff like that, I feel like it lost a little bit of popularity, but hopefully it'll pick back up now that they've added some more rating and stuff like that.
Sure.
But yeah, I really feel like a solo queue mode actually is like the future of WoW. I know you guys hate me saying that. Maybe I don't even want to admit it to myself, but unless there's like some better way for people to queue threes, it's always going to be this thing where it's like you have such an extremely difficult time to play unless you already have friends, which lots of people don't, or unless you're already heavily invested in the community, which a lot of people aren't, you know? Like they don't have any. There are people that are even super invested in the community. They can't find anyone to play with. Most of the time, I log on, nobody wants to play. I have a friends list full of like gladiators and rank 1s and stuff. Like 90% of the time, nobody wants to play. So I just sit in LFG or I sit in solo.
That's unbelievable to me. That's unbelievable. As huge of an influence as Vindruki is, right? As long as he's been doing all this, I mean, as long as he's been playing the game, as many people as he knows, as many teams as he's had formed, I find it impossible to believe that no one wants to play. That's crazy to me, right? And that shows an overwhelming issue, right? I think Blizzard has made a couple fumbles. But, you know, those things will get remedied eventually. Just got to give them a chance, right? They produce a good product. That's why we all keep playing, right? No matter how much we complain, you know, you bitch, whine, and complain all you want to. It's not really going to change anything. It does sometimes, I guess. I guess you take to the forums and enough interest about such and such happens. Sorry, keep adjusting my desk, trying to get as comfortable as possible here. I mean, I guess I can't say that nothing ever changes, because it obviously does, right? Because Dragonflight's way better than previous expansions when it comes to a lot of things. It's just that it's really hard, man. It's very, very difficult. DPS is way too high. There's too many... I press all my button one-shot wombo combos, and people die instantaneously. And it's not necessarily the healer's fault. There's not enough throughput. I don't think healers are quite strong enough for some things. I don't know. That's not been my experience in 2s, right? I think that they feel immortal. And we're not playing optimal comps anyways. You know, 2s, I mean, the game's not balanced around 2s. I understand that. It never will be. That's okay. People that play 2s just, I guess, masochists at heart. But anyways, I don't play 3s. I've never really been interested in 3s. My only experience really with 3s is currently in Solo Shuffle. It's fun. It's a fun game mode. But like he says, it's a godsend for players like myself. We have full-time jobs. We have a house to take care of. We have limited free time most of the time. And when we do get a chance to play, we don't want to sit in queue for 45 minutes. It's a huge issue. So I don't know how they're going to address this. I think that there was some blue post incentivizing healing. So there's some things that Blizzard's going to try to rope people back into. And those are good, man. That means like I said at the beginning, I think Blizzard is listening to the community, regardless of what we may think. Um, but anyways, back to the video.
Shuffle, you know. Whereas when I want to play Overwatch, I just log on, game. I want to play Dota, log on, game. 2 seconds. So I don't know exactly how we get there, but I feel like it's important, I think, that there is a good solo queue mode. And there's got to be like more convenience. Like I really want more people to play WoW. I do. I love this game. I'm not shit talking.
I agree.
Like, I'm not shit talking. World of Warcraft is literally that. Like I've dedicated my life to this game in a lot of ways. So I love this game. I want nothing but its success. But I feel like there's some.
Oh my god, bro.
Oh, hell no,
Mm,
hurdles that need to be jumped over, and I feel like there's got to be like some changes, like some big changes, you know. And I hate add-ons. It's a different conversation, but I hate add-ons. I think that the UI needs to be improved and add-ons need to be pruned from the game. And I think if for no other reason than making it more accessible to new players, that is good enough for me. But yeah, it's
Agreed. There's absolutely no need in the world at all for me to log into a game and then I have to go to a third-party website and download another client and download more stuff onto my PC so that I can play the game that I want to play. Why is the base UI not accessible? Like why is Blizzard like why can we not do the same things as these third-party add-ons? We can. They proved it. They did a lot of it. Like they have their one bag add-on, they have their cleanup tool, they have like there's so many things that they added that they can take from these third-party developers and add into the base UI. There's no reason for it not to be like that. I think that it's incredibly overly complicated, right? Like I could not be asked to set up weak auras. I've tried several times, or Omnibar or Omni CD, and have all of that stuff running efficiently. That's why I'm not that great at PvP, right? Because I don't know what I'm facing. I don't know what's being pressed. I don't know what's going on. Interrupting the wrong spells, you know, whatever the case is. So not playing PvP at the optimal level. I don't have add-ons that are throwing when to press this button, when to press this button. Hey, so-and-so just blew their cooldowns. You might want to blow it defensive, right? It's kind of learning by the seat of my pants, per se. And I have grown a lot in my knowledge when it comes to PvP. But there's a lot of things out there. There's a lot of UI improvements. People don't even have to think, man. It just flashes across the screen and boom, there they go. They're off to the races, you know? So there's things that need to be improved. Obviously, you're always going to get critiqued. I think Blizzard gave us a halfway decent product. I've had a lot of fun with it. That's why I have so many damn 70s. If I didn't enjoy the game, I wouldn't play, right? I would unsub and I would go do something else, anything else. I obviously still love the game. And I'm rooting for it, man. I'm rooting for that 20-year mark. I'm rooting for this game to still be good and still be relevant 2 decades after it was released. I think that would be fantastic. I think we're a long ways away. And I think Blizzard's checking a lot of the right boxes. I think they're doing a lot of the right things. And I think classic hardcore servers are going to be huge. I think it's going to be... I don't even think that Blizzard is prepared for how big a resurgence that's going to cause. And maybe out of that, we get a couple players, they try it back on retail, and they're like, yeah, man, okay, this game is pretty good. Because it is. Retail's fun. It is. There's a lot of content out there. There's a lot of things for you to do. There's a lot of things that I'm just not interested in. I've never been one of those people that get into doing dailies and doing this and constant busy work, or as I like to call it, housekeeping stuff. I'm not that guy, right? I just want to get in. I want to do my raid. I want to log off. I want to hang out with my friends. I want to do the thing, beat the boss, get the gear, and move on. Same thing in PvP. Like, I want to log in. That's why I like twos. Kyle and I can go in there anytime we want to, any time of the day, anytime we have free time, and we can start rocking and rolling in twos. And I mean, we win some, we lose some. I think we average about a 50% win-lose ratio. I mean, it's not horrible. It's very, very hard to gain rating, but nothing's really locked behind rating except cosmetic stuff. So, like, it doesn't matter. It's cool. Like, I would love to unlock some of that stuff. I think the only thing that's ever locked behind rating is those damn boxes. I think you have to have like a 1400 rating, which I think should be lowered a little bit. I think 1200 is okay. I think you get to 1200 rating, I think you should be able to buy the damn boxes, but that's neither here nor there. Definitely some things, some more improvements that Blizzard needs to implement. And the whole idea, like, third-party add-ons just need to go away. The base UI needs to be updated, and that way the game is more accessible, right? We've got to think about how do we bring people to the game. My son just turned, well, today is actually his birthday, just turned 14. How do I get him to want to play this game? Because he's watched me play it, and he goes, wow, Dad, that game looks confusing. And I'm like, no, it's really easy. Well, it is easy to me. I've been playing it forever, for the better part of almost 2 decades. But to him, I mean, this is insane, right? It's insane to watch everything that's going on. Am I dying? No, okay, I'm not dying. Let's get back to the video.
It's an interesting take. I know a lot of people disagree with me. That's fine. I'm willing to change my mind on what I'm saying as well. Like, I'm not totally set in my ideas, but I do feel like I'm on the right track as to why it's hard for people to want to play, you know? There's too many abilities right now too. Legion was the last surge of new players. The game stuck around and grew because it's the most simplistic in recent times. I really do believe that. I'm not gonna lie. I
unfortunately did not play much Legion.
This is something we watched yesterday. You guys want to see it? I genuinely believe with all of my heart and soul that damage rotations in this game are way too complicated.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Like, they are way too complicated. There's too many modifiers.
Hence why I'm playing with a macro.
There's too many abilities.
Mm-hmm.
And a perfect example is an Arcane Mage PvE guide. I'm going to show you this, okay? This is going to freaking blow your mind, okay? We're just going to watch this for a second. Imagine you're a new player and someone's trying to explain this to you, okay? You're like, I want to get into raiding. How do I do damage as an Arcane Mage? Let's watch.
Now let's head into this single target rotation. 15 seconds before the pull, you want to be spamming Arcane Explosion to fish for clear casting procs. This part may vary based on your haste levels, but in general, 9 seconds before the pull starts, you want to cast Evocation so you can start stacking Siphon Storm. At around 3 seconds, you want to cast a Rune of Power into an Arcane Blast precast and Arcane Orb. The pull has now begun, and we already have 4 Arcane charges, so we're ready to start our Arcane Surge burn. However, this burn will change based on if you have Double Time Warp activated or not. So if you plan on popping Double Time Warp, you want to immediately stack Arcane Harmony to 20, then continue with the burn rotation. If you aren't popping Double Time Warp, then you don't have to worry about Arcane Harmony, and can immediately start with Radiant Spark when the pull begins. After Radiant Spark, we cast 3 Arcane Blasts into Arcane Surge and another Tempest. Now, if Time Warp is up, you want to cast Arcane Blast and spell Q Arcane Barrage into it. If you're not sure what it means to spell Q, I'll have an explanation of it down in the description. If you're not in Time Warp, then forget about Arcane Blast, just cast Arcane Barrage, and Touch of the Magi while Barrage is traveling, but right before it lands. The reason that we pop Touch of the Magi while Barrage is traveling is so that we gain about an extra second of Touch of the Magi uptime, while still benefiting from Barrage inside it. Also, Touch of the Magi itself gives us 4 Arcane charges, so right after Touch of the Magi, we want to follow a simple priority list. Nether Precision buffed Arcane Blasts, clear casted Arcane Missiles, and regular Arcane Blasts. Now, due to Arcane Bombardment, if your target is under 35% health, you want to Barrage and have it land just before Touch of the Magi ends. Otherwise, use Presence of Mind to fit one last Arcane Blast into Touch. And finally, if you're in double Bloodlust, you want to cast a barrage on the last global of your Arcane Surge buff. Otherwise, just follow the priority list as usual, and once your Arcane Surge buff wears off, cast Shifting Power, and that's the end of the Arcane Surge burn. Now, I know this may be a lot to take in all at once, especially since the rotation changes so much based on if Lust is active or if the target's in Execute. My best advice would be to take it one step at a time, first learn the rotation without Lust or Execute, and then gradually start incorporating the other conditionals. To help you out with this, I created a cheat sheet that you can find in the description of this video, and it'll have everything you need to know about the rotation, so you can have that pulled up on the side while practicing.
Bro, like, come on, man. Like, come on.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? Like, it sounded like gibberish. Like, it's so overly complicated. And timing has to be perfect. And what? And that's just the opener. That's how you open on the raid boss. Like, you want to pot 3 seconds before the pull, and then you want to do this, you want to cast this, and if you're trying to get this off, or you want to do the most optimal damage possible, like, this is exactly how you have to play, and you have to have 40 keybinds, right? You have to be a pro level player in order to accomplish this task. And let's rewind. Let's go back to Classic. Molten Core. Was it difficult? Sure. Did things hit hard? Absolutely. But Molten Core was a 40-man raid that was designed, right? Designed around about 15 to 20 players actually knowing what they're doing. And the rest of the people just pressing buttons randomly, right? So 15 to 20 players that are doing halfway optimal DPS, right? And you could still win. And I don't think I have any video of it, but I can remember distinctly looking at players that are still wearing fishing gear, like people wearing fishing poles while in the raid, right? Just, oh, I was fishing before and I forgot to change my gear back. This was a pretty common occurrence. That's what it was based around. So yeah, man, you had to have 40 people to get in there and get it done. But you really truly only needed, let's say, 15 people that were on point, and you would win. And I didn't know anything about doing optimal DPS or parsing this or doing that. I played a hunter. Like, I was the speed puller for the guild. I was survival in Classic so that I could have trap mastery, so that I could be useful and trap targets and do this. I wasn't worried about doing optimal DPS. I was worried about being useful and not effing it up, right? And I had a great deal of fun, and I still did good damage. And I remember getting Lockdalar and Rockdalar and feeling like I was the most badass hunter on the planet, right? Which, that was difficult, right? Going to kill those damn demons was difficult. The game has changed, man. It's changed a lot. You got to be a professional level player, it seems, in order to run an optimal damage rotation, as that last little clip there about arcane mages really shed. I think that was really, really deep dive, right, into how to optimally play that class. Kind of crazy, but here we go.
Bro, that is too much, man. Like, it's too much. I get it. People, you want the rotations to be interesting enough where you're not just playing Classic spamming Frostbolt. I totally understand that.
Get it?
Maybe you don't even want the rotation as simple as like Wrath of the Lich King, where like you're spamming Arcane Blast, you have charges, you buff up, like your abilities are getting buffed by your charges, and then you use your barrage to dump your charges and reset, and if you happen to get a proc, you use it. Like, I feel like there's enough complexity there, or it's still fun, but like Legion was a good example too of like the rotations weren't too ridiculous, but now it's like, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy. So yeah, anyways, that's That's what I think. I think there's like some challenges that face World of Warcraft, and like I said, I love this game, but the rotations for some things are a bit convoluted. Yeah, 100%. Legion had so much choice just because everything did stuff. Like half your buttons don't.
ID say rotations for some things are a bit convoluted.
A little bit, yeah. I'm not even joking. You need like a 4-year college degree to be able to DPS as Arcane.
4-year college
literally like
degree.
a 4-year college degree to
Oh my
DPS as
gosh.
an Arcane mage in PvE.
It feels like
It's
sometimes.
way too crazy. Shadow Priest is just as complicated, but these two specs are exceptions. I mean, I was looking at let me see if I can find it. I made a
I really don't think that those two specs are exceptions. And he made a comment about Wrath of the Lich King and that it was somewhat, I guess, easier. Well, let me just show you, right? Look at my spell book. Look at all of these abilities. And I'm prot, right? Look at all of these things. Let me show you what the rotation looks like with GSE, right? So Judgment, Hammer, Shield, Consecration, Holy Shield, Hammer of Wrath, right? You could ignore this because this actually doesn't work. I tried to add this in. Look at how many buttons I have on my bar, right? So my number 2 key here, this is what I spam my macro with. So this runs my rotation. Sometimes I want Holy Shield up before the pull. I have Divine Plea here. I took control of Avenger's Shield. I want to be able to cast that when I feel it's necessary, right? I have Avenging Wrath here. Divine Protection, Divine Shield, Hand of Protection. I've got Blessing of Freedom, Hand of Freedom over here. I've got Sacred Shield, Lay on Hands, Righteous Fury, which I think needs to be up. I think it gives me a damage reduction buff, right? Blessing of Sanctuary. And see, I got a little third-party add-on right here, right? So I can just click this button, click this, and it'll refresh and make sure that I have the right stance up. Oh, yeah. Not to mention, right, I have all these auras. Devotion aura, Retribution aura, Concentration aura, Shadow resistance, Frost resistance, Fire resistance, Crusader aura. My heals, right? Divine Sacrifice, so that way the raid can take less, or the party can take less damage. My only type of interrupt is Hammer of Justice, right? This is, it's pretty crazy. And I don't know if you guys could see that, but Hammer only has a 10-yard range here, unlike in retail where it seems like it's infinite. It is a very complicated game, and it would definitely take you some time to sit down and practice this rotation, right? I've made this as lazy as I possibly can. I mean, you see I'm doing fairly optimal damage, right? I'm hitting things very, very hard. I'm spamming one button and I'm winning, right? I spam a couple other primary buttons to make sure that some other buffs stay up, and that's it. See, I win. And I do the exact same thing. I've run this character through the Heroic Plus system, which was super fun, right? It was nice to be able to run the same dungeons that I know I've become very accustomed to, I know them very well, at least well enough to run through with ease, like not really having to think about mechanics when it comes to bosses, that kind of stuff. The difficulty level was definitely higher. Things hit harder. You couldn't pull as ridiculous, right? I didn't feel as invincible. But I had a good group, good DPS, good healer, and yeah, I did exactly what I'm doing out here, running this macro, and we won. I ran 2 Heroic Plus dungeons with a fair amount of ease, and I had a good time doing it. I think that the Heroic Plus idea, super, super cool, right? Really, really needed. addition to Wrath. I think it's very good. I think it was well received by the player base. I didn't see very much in the LFG tool by means of regular heroics or regular dungeons being run. It was like pretty much everyone wants to do heroic plus. And it gives you, I mean, it gives you halfway decent gear, man. It's good.
It's too far away.
And it's fun. So it's good. I am a big fan. I love the looking for group tool, right? Especially as a tank. Man, you want to talk about fun. Like just being able to insta-queue and go and get the dungeon done. It's great time, man. Great time. And I distinctly remember playing Wrath, and I played a prop paladin. I was already playing a warrior, maining a warrior, doing all my ICC grinding, doing all that stuff on the warrior. But prot paladin was very powerful, and I remember running LFG a lot, doing a lot of heroics, trying to gear that tune, and having a very good time doing the ICC dungeons, doing the Trial of Crusader dungeons, try to get that catch-up gear. Like, it was good. It was very good. I think I can actually pull all of this. This would be a pretty decent pull here. Hopefully I don't die. I doubt it. We'll blow wings here, just get some extra DPS down. See, this kind of shows you like just how effing ridiculous prop paladins are. Right? It's pretty impressive. And I'm doing this in PvP gear, right? Like the most suboptimal gear that I could possibly find. But it's what I have access to, man. It's like I just wanted a tune to be able to farm gold, and that way I can buy WoW tokens. And because I'm not 100% sure if I kill my sub and I still have game time, I should still be able to do Wrath, do all the classic stuff, but I'm not sure. I'm going to try, because I think I have game time all the way up till September. So this has been working out for me. Like we'll open up Trade Skill Master here. Now this is a little bit off, okay? But when I first came back to the game, I shuffled all of my gold, all of my material, all of the stuff that I had left from the very beginning of the expansion. Titan steel bars, that kind of stuff. Everything that I had in my inventory, shuffled everything, put it all up in the auction house, sold everything, shuffled all my gold down, and I had about 22k, right? I've bought 3 WoW tokens so far, and I'm already back up to 19 and a half. So 19.5k. So this gold farming venture that I'm doing here, like it's working. I got game time all the way until September. It gives me plenty of time to just chill, do this whenever I get the chance. I mean, I'm not doing anything crazy here, right? Probably a lot of these greens I'm just going to bust down, disenchant, take those materials. Frostweave bolts I saw were selling very well. I sold those pretty much instantaneously, so probably stay on that. Just taking a look at the auction house and what's going on. And Strathholm runs are very good, right? Righteous Orbs still sell, Essence of Undead still sells, just like it is in retail right now. Right now in retail, man, that stuff is crazy. It's going for a ridiculous amount. I mean, you got Righteous Orbs that are selling for 700-800 gold a piece, man. And I've sold a lot, because it don't take me any time at all on my little speed set druid to go in there and run strat live side, pull half the dungeon. I think I got it down to 3 pulls now, and you know, 5 or 6 minutes, depending upon how many brain cells I'm dedicating to what it is I'm doing, right? But you're talking about stuff that you can kick back and watch Netflix and just Goldfarm, man. And it's an avenue, man. This is gameplay, right? This is what people do. Some people fly around and gather materials. I used to do that a lot. So there's all kinds of different ways to play this game, right? I love the fact, and I know that this is a super unpopular opinion, and a lot of people think that it ruined WoW Classic, but putting the WoW token in Wrath, great for me. It's because I'm not interested, man. I did all this, right? It was very nostalgic for me to level the 2 characters, and I really thought I was really gonna give it a go. Because I was really kind of tired of retail. Shadowlands really burnt me. But Dragonflight looked very promising, and I definitely wanted to try it, and Kyle wanted to try it, so as soon as it came out, we made the switch, and we haven't looked back. I mean, I kept telling them about the gold farming that I was doing in Wrath and the prospect of being able to play the game for free, and I think he kind of likes that idea too. Nobody wants to pay a $16 a month sub, especially not when there's so many good games out there that are free, right? And WoW, I mean, let's be real, they got a lot of microtransactions, a lot of things on the shop, considering such a hefty sub fee, right? I've given Blizzard quite a bit of my paycheck over the years. That's a lot of money. Sometimes I was subbed and not even playing because I would forget to cancel. So sometimes they got money out of me for free. But I've always come back, man. I've played in every single expansion, maybe not for too terribly long, maybe just a couple months to kind of experience it, or I get bit by the WoW bug and I want to come and I want to see and experience and just see what happens. That's why I got into tanking, right? That's why I love the LFG tool. That's why it's convenient. I don't want to waste an hour of my time trying to put a damn 5-man group together to go run dungeons. No, man, I want to log in on whatever tune I'm playing. That's why I got into tanking in the first place. Why I love Prot Paladin. I love Guardian Druid. I love Prot Warrior. Anything that could tank, man, like that's what I did. And I got fairly decent at it. And once it became a skill that I was good at and I was confident. Why I never got into Mythic Plus, I don't really know. I still don't know. Maybe I'll try it. Confidence is a little shaky because I don't know what's going on, and that's that. I mean, when Mythic Plus has been around since what, Legion? So I don't know. I didn't do any of that. So I missed out on a lot. Like thinking back on it, tried to catch up and go through Legion, but it was by the time I had come back into the game, I had started, dropped out, and then tried to come back at the end, and it was just way too much content that I had missed, that I was just way too far behind the power curve, and the new expansion was getting ready to come out, so I just didn't even bother, right? So I missed what a lot of people say was the greatest WoW expansion. And I played a lot during BFA. I thought it was fine. There was a lot of stuff to do, a lot of stuff that kept me interested. That's when I had hit my peak of trying to gold farm. So that was really entertaining for me. I'm sad that a lot of the methods that I used to use for gold farming are no longer a thing. Running legacy dungeons and that kind of stuff. It's sad, right? I used to love running the old raids and trying to get the transmog pieces that I didn't get and finish out this set, and it was really, really good time, and you could score some big gold too, man, depending. And if not, like, you always had raw gold, right? They got rid of all of that. Like, Blizzard has a very bad habit of killing stuff that a lot of people find fun. And I don't really understand the concept of why they have to butt in. Like, if I enjoyed running old raids, getting gear, and doing all of that stuff. Sorry, my son's chasing the dog around. I don't understand why it's Blizzard's business to come in and dictate how I'm going to play their game, right? Like, I pay my sub, I'll play the game how I want to play. But you adapt, you figure out new ways of doing what it is that you want to do. I still want a gold farm. And I do it casually. Like, I do it when I need to. I go run the dungeons, replenish the gear that I need. And as long as I'm consistently getting sells, which I'll show you guys because I already took a peek at my mailbox the last couple of days. But I am consistently making gold. And it's really fun. This is the most success I've ever had doing transmog. I used to think that it was bullshit. I never ever thought that that it was true, right? I would watch all these videos and these guys selling hundreds of thousands of gold worth of transmog every week. And I was like, well, I ran the dungeons and I had the gear and I'm loading up the auction house and I was getting zero sales. And then they were like, oh, well, some pieces take a year to sell and this, that, and everything else. I'm like, I ain't got time for that, right? I ain't got time for that. So that's when I got into raw gold farming, doing this, doing that. But because I think that the auction house went region wide, and I'm not even sure if that applies to transmog. I know it applies to materials, but I feel like I'm getting a huge amount of sales. Like I said, I will show you that what I say is the truth. What I love about TSM, like, and there's no reason why Blizzard could not implement something just as good, if not better, right? Just need for them to do it. Oh my gosh, someone's ringing my doorbell. You guys are gonna have to excuse me. I shall be right back. All right. Anyways, I think it was the post office dropping off a package. And I don't know if you could hear me yelling at my son, but it's noon and he's still asleep and it pisses me off. So, sorry about that. Like I said, man, like, it's a good game. It's fun. It's been fun for years. That's what I'm hunting for right here, man. This frostweave cloth. Really good. I think making those frostweave bolts. Whatever the ones it is that the precursor to making the bags, because the bags are not worth it, but I guess people are using that to make gear and all kinds of other stuff, so whatever. Doesn't take me much time or much material to farm it, so this is an oldie but a goodie, man. Like, it's still a great farm. Probably not the most efficient use of my time, but it's highly effective. So back to the video.
List. I made a list of Frost Mage abilities. These are just attacks. This is look at this, okay? This is Frost Mage after the rework, okay? I'm gonna show you guys this. As a Frost Mage after the rework, these are your attack buttons. These are all things you need to have keybind to do damage. You need to have Frostbolt, Ice Lance, Flurry, Frozen Orb, Blizzard, Cone of Cold, Frost Nova, Fire Blast, Arcane Explosion, Blast Wave, Ray of Frost, Glacial, Ice Nova, Comet Storm. Ebon Bolt actually got pruned. They literally pruned it. So Ebon Bolt did get pruned. But then you, for your Water Elemental alone, you need Water Jet Keybind, you need Pet Attack Keybind, you need Pet Freeze Keybind. And then if you happen to PvP, you also need to use Ring of Fire, and you also need to use Frost Bomb. And these are just attacks. It's a lot. Now, I've heard people of the opinion that there are people that have the opinion that it's better to have more attacks, which means more options, which means higher skill cap. Like, I've had that conversation with people. Yo, but it's a bit much. I think compared to, like, this is Legion. So on Legion, you had spammable Arcane Blast, Explosion, and Barrage. When you got procs, you used missiles. You had Arcane Orb as a short CD. You had Mark of Alaneth and Arcane Power and Palm as your long CDs. You had 4 defensives: Temp Shield, Priz Cloak, Ice Block, Greater Invis. Your utilities were Mass Invis, Shimmer Displacement, Nova Slow, Spell Steal. And it was the most fun spec ever. This is literally one of the most fun specs I've ever played in my entire life. League of Legends has, like, well, that's what Zico says. Like, he's like, why is League of Legends so fun to play? Like, why are MOBAs so fun to play? You have 4, 5, 6 buttons. Maybe and then you add like flash or whatever. You have like 7 buttons. But every button does something meaningful. Every button you press feels like it actually matters. Yeah, but there's been plenty of times, Axton, where, you know, those little buttons. Oh, listen, I understand, man. Like, yeah, I get it. World of Warcraft is never going to be a game that has 5 buttons. But I feel like you could have like 20. You know, you could have like 20 buttons, and that's fine. 20 is kind of a lot for casual gamers. Yeah, even 20 is fucking crazy, but it's better than 40. The ability prune after WOD pretty disliked. Well, it's because they pruned like iconic, really fun abilities like Grounding Totem. It's not like, yeah, they pruned like really crazy important abilities. The biggest reason I can't play retail right now is the complex damage rotations. Complex damage rotations are not what makes combat fun for me. It's not what makes combat fun for a lot of people, man. Like, it should not be. I'm telling you, even if you want to have like a bunch of like utility spells that are interesting, I'm down for that. But I swear the way you deal damage in this game is way too complicated.
Agreed.
I really believe that. I think most specs, their damage rotation is way too convoluted. There's way too many buttons that don't really do that much, but you're still forced to press. Like, how many spells do you think should be in a damage rotation? Like 5 single target, like 2 or 3 AoE or something like that, and a couple cooldowns. I had a lot of fun in TBC just pressing Ice Lance and Frostbolt.
Hey guys, Toby Mathis here, and question I get all the time is, how do I make my personal assets?
Yeah, you're playing Arcane by choice, but you don't like complex damage rotations? Well, believe it or not, Arcane's damage rotation is significantly less complicated in PvP. It's still complicated. Like, the concepts are complicated, but the actual buttons you press are way less complicated. The complexity of the game is what is killing its popularity. Making it easier to play would pull in more people, but it would make it less appealing for people that can play for hours on end every day. I don't think that's true, though.
I don't know about that.
For the weekend?
I don't think that's true. In BFA, they tried to make it easier to play, and it had the opposite effect. I feel like Legion was pretty, like, I feel like Legion had pretty clean rotations. I kind of agree with Knight. Like, I feel like all the specs that I played in Legion were, like, pretty, they were good. How do we get more people to play baseball? Let's make everyone use T-bars. We actually had, this is kind of like a repeat of a conversation we were having earlier. But I think the biggest problem is it just takes a really long time to get into WoW. Like,
yes.
The major challenges WoW has is, like, if somebody watches WoW and then wants to play it, going from watching it to playing what you're seeing is months of work. Months and months and months and months and months of work. And then also, even if you do all the work, like, another challenge with WoW, and like I keep feeling like I need to say this because, like I said, I love this game, dedicated my life to this game, favorite game I've ever played in my whole life. Okay, so let's just get that out of the way. Even if you do everything, So here's another problem with WoW is even if you do everything, let's say you actually buy the game, you level up your character.
Sorry, thought my son had something for me.
You farm full honor gear and full conquest gear. You download all the add-ons you need. You set up all the add-ons you need. Everything is great. You farmed everything. You spent weeks and weeks and weeks, months and months and months. You finally got everything. Most of the time, you're just gonna log in and not have anyone to play threes with, so you can't play. Or if you're gonna solo shuffle, it takes 30 minutes in queue. That's the biggest obstacle. Like.
I mean, I don't think you could have hit the nail on the head any harder. That pretty much sums up everything that how I feel. I 100% agree with all of it. And unfortunately, I don't see things changing anytime soon. But I think we're going to shift gears here into a little bit of gold farming. I'd like to log over to retail, show you guys the mailbox, I'll do that kind of thing. Maybe we'll jump into a solo shuffle and then I can just show it why things are not so good. And look at how many people are here right now. The server is quite populated for it to be the middle of the day. You know what I mean? Classic is very, very popular, man. Very popular. It's good. Welcome to whoever just tuned in. I appreciate it. Feel free to make any comments in the chat. Let me know how I'm doing. I'm going to send off all these greens, get disenchanted. And then I'll log over to retail. We'll see what that's about. See if we can actually put on stream. Oh my gosh, man. Can't click because of the damn buttons. Let's see. We need to send all this stuff to the mage. Do this. And that, this, greens, what else? I think that's it. I think that's all we're gonna send over. Sell this out. Oh. I need to send that. Actually, I think I'm gonna send that to get sold. Let's see. Send all this stuff over. All right. I don't know what's going on with the stream on YouTube. I don't know, like, if it's just not caught up or what is happening. Oh yeah, I think it was just me. I think I was just behind the times. That's cool though. It looks like everything's still running pretty good. So that's good, man. I'm able to do this off of just my single PC, which is great. We're getting ready to log over to retail. Check my mailboxes show you that transmog does sell. And then I think maybe I want to do some solo shuffle, man, and see if I can not wait in a 30-minute queue to play. I have not done any PvP in weeks. Did a couple of arena games with Kyle. I think it was Monday, and that was very, very fun. But other than that, I haven't done anything in a while. Welcome to whoever just tuned in. Feel free to make any comments in the chat. Oh, we're going to log into this Words Bank tune. I created this character to sell transmog. And it's kind of transformed into just selling a bunch of different stuff. So it's not just transmog anymore. The mailbox should be clean. Yep. So I had cleaned everything out this morning. As you can see, I still got a bag full of stuff that didn't even post on the auction house. I need to go drop this, I think, probably in my guild bank. But as you can see, I have 43K worth of gold just sitting there. And this stuff sold a day ago, right? A day ago, 2 days ago. So in the last 2 days, right, I've made 43,000 gold. I'm selling cheap transmog, man. Like, none of this stuff is crazy. The only thing that's in here that is actually really worth talking about would be these righteous orbs, right? I sold 22 of them for 12K. That's huge. But transmog does sell, man. Like, I didn't realize how good it was. I sold 80 auctions in the last 2 days and hit 43,000 gold. So we're going to go ahead and collect that. That means we just would have broke 300K on this particular tune. This tune was created, I don't know, 2 months ago, maybe a little over 2 months ago. And now I've broke 300K. So I could finally, it took me 2 months, give or take. But I could finally afford a WOW token on retail, which is why I've, 304K. That's what they're at now. That's crazy. So that took me a while. But that's just this particular tune. That's not all the things that I do. That's not all of the gold that I'm making. I'm doing things simultaneously, but just as far as transmog is concerned, in the last 2 months, give or take, I've made 320K, which I think is fantastic considering I never could get transmog to sell before. So we'll take a look at TSM. It says I'm all the way up to 1.36 million, which is fantastic for me. That's chump change for a lot of other people, but really, really good for me. This down here, like some of this is not accurate because I posted, I think I threw everything in the guild bank at this point when I was down to 37K. So like from here on is pretty accurate. And then I threw everything back out of the guild bank and back on me. So that's one tune down. This one, I don't think there's anything impressive that has sold. Yeah, not at all. As a matter of fact, we just collect some of these expired mails. Bunch of different ways to play the game, man. And I mean, nothing too great here. I think this is a battle pet, which I really don't care about. So I took all the ones out of my bags, all the ones that I've collected. Any of them that could get put in a cage, I put them in a cage so that I could sell them. So trying to diversify as much as possible. You know, I'm trying to sell in the white and gray items. Like while everyone was super excited that that was going to become transmoggable, I haven't really sold too terribly much. I think a lot of it is still vendor trash. I sold a couple of high ticket items, like the elemental mage staff. Unfortunately, I had accidentally clicked on the collect gold button, so I didn't get to put that out there. But that was a staff that was apparently worth, 100K plus, and I only sold it for about 13,000, which is fine for me. I don't care. Like that's 13,000 gold that I didn't have, that I now do have. So for me, it's good. And probably whoever bought it will resell it for what it's actually worth, but they'll make that sell like 2 years from now. So I don't have that kind of time to wait. I'm not interested in that. I'd like to sell my transmog at a reasonable price. I think what people would actually would actually pay, excuse me, because I know I would never pay some of those prices. It'd be absolutely ridiculous. Now I got to figure out what I'm gonna do while I wait in this ridiculously long queue. I've been surprised before. Sometimes it'll say 30 minutes, 35 minutes, and I'll get in 3 or 4 minutes after I queue, but that's not always the case. Don't do that. Don't do that. Get away from the dog. Don't do that. All right. So here we are on the Rep Paladin. Like I said, man, I am not the end all be all of PvP. I do have just got the 4 set, which is great. That's fun. Really good. As you can see, I still have a couple of blue pieces. So I got a couple of pieces of gear that I do need to change out. But for the most part, I mean, I've got a couple of pieces of crafted gear. Like the technical, quote unquote, best in slot, like I'm rocking it. So as optimized as I could possibly make this character, minus the gems, right? You see, I don't have the gem slots. Those are minor boost. I'm missing some things, but that's okay. Like, don't really care at this point. Like I said, I am the average player base, right? So like, yeah, I might be missing some enchants. I might be missing this or missing that. I have a vault slot. I didn't know that we PvP'd enough to open one. This is a welcome surprise. Let's go see what we get out of the vault. And if we could replace one of these blues, that'd be fantastic. Cloak or trinket. It'd be great. Great, 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 great. And I've got hands, which I already have tier. Wow. That is so disappointing. Oh, well, we'll take the tokens. Because that's just bad luck. All right. So rated solo shuffle. As you can see, like I don't have a huge rating. Like I have not played this tune very much in solos. A little bit in 2v2, right? We're at 1320. So 5750. They still haven't uncapped the Conquest, I see. And see, that's how they keep you on the hamster wheel, man. That's how they keep you playing. But nah, this game's fun. Retail's fun. I don't know who that is. Who's calling me? I don't want it. Ooh. Solo shuffle. Skirmishes. I don't really care about skirmishes. I'm not really gonna waste my time with that, but solo shuffle I'll do. That's a nice pickup. And Forbidden Reach. Oh, but see, you only gotta get 50. That's the great part about the Forbidden Reach. And they drop off the rares. So that's super easy. Which I don't even know if I need those tokens. But yeah. Any of the viewers that might have just clicked in, feel free to make any comments in the chat. Please give me some advice, criticism, critique. I can handle it all. I'll be okay. Let me reload this. Yep. Looks like everything is good. Not getting any viewership on YouTube, and that's sad. I don't think that people go to YouTube to watch streaming. We're trying to see what's up with Kick. And so far, so good. Hey, Brian, did you log into the Kick? Oh, you can't, huh? So, if you, when you throw emotes now, the way that I got the stream set up, it'll actually bounce around the screen. It's pretty cool. So, my kids and I have set up a gaming room. So we got a couple TVs posted up. I got my standing desk and my PC set up, and it's pretty fun. I got this nifty background, right, with my Alliance and Horde banner, and yes, I understand that that's a Twitch sign. I am still streaming on Twitch for anybody who cares. But I wanted to expand my horizons, not just get pigeonholed into one. So we'll see. Yeah, Brian, unfortunately, I think that that's BS. But, I mean, my son just found an ad for game testers. And he's like, oh, man, I could get paid to play video games. Like, yeah, I don't think so. But be cool if you did. Depending upon what happens right now, I don't know, run this solo shuffle, see how long it takes to queue, see if any of those things that we talked about earlier come to fruition. Look at that, it only says 15-minute queue. That's crazy. So maybe the way that Blizzard incentivized healers, maybe it actually did have an effect, because a 15-minute queue is way more reasonable, right? That's good. 15-minute queue is good. So we'll see. We'll see how fast I can get this quest done. I only have to run 2 solo shuffles as long as nobody quits, right? So as long as nobody quits out, we'll be done fairly quickly. Welcome, welcome, welcome to whoever just logged in. Feel free to make any comments in the chat, please. It would be greatly appreciated. If you wouldn't mind throwing me a follow, right? I'm trying to hit that threshold of the 75 followers, so if you don't mind helping me out, it's free, it doesn't cost you anything. And we're just waiting in the queue here. Haven't done any PvP in a little bit. And I kind of spiced up the chat, so I'm looking to see if someone hit that follow button, if it'll actually throw the alert and do what it's supposed to do. I spent a little bit of time messing around with OBS, trying to get it to do what I needed to do. But I appreciate you, anybody logging in, anybody gives a damn to watch. We watched a Vinruki video. talking about how WoW is not accessible to new players. I agree. We had a pretty lengthy discussion about all of that. I don't exactly know what WoW needs to do in order to bring back the player base. I really think that Hardcore Classic is going to have a significant impact on those numbers. I think it's going to bring a lot of people back to the game. It'd be a super fun concept. If I heard those interviews correctly, I believe that WoW Classic Hardcore is going to remove the debuff limit. So that means classes that traditionally were one button specs, particularly Affliction Warlocks, right? You're actually going to get to throw your dots on the target. Hunters, you're actually going to get to Serpent Sting. Like those things that are actually going to help boost DPS, and classes are going to play a bit different than they played in the original iteration of the game, right? Because you're going to be able to throw all your buffs and debuffs and all of that stuff. Could be quite interesting. We could see some rather new dynamics come to fruition because we didn't have those things in the original iteration of Classic. So that could be really cool, man. I don't know if I need to play another YouTube video in the background. I don't script this stuff. I kind of go off the cuff. It's just me, your average player, trying to get into solo shuffle so I can play my Ret Paladin, which everyone says is like B tier, but I don't see it. I think Ret Paladins are incredibly strong. I hit like a truck. I have a lot of utility for my team. I missed the whole bandwagon in season 1 where Ret Paladins were like getting 1,000 more rating than what they should have. Like they were crazy, stupidly overpowered. I played it post nerf, and it's one of my favorite tunes. I think Ret Pally is very, very fun. I mean, I can bust 100k single target DPS on that target dummy. Now, I know that doesn't equate to PvP, but I think it's about 50%, right? Whatever you do on the target dummy, you can expect 50% of that damage in PvP. So 50, 60k at some points. Average, probably, I don't know, 30 to 40k, depending upon if I can stick to a target. So far we've been in queue for 8 minutes. Hasn't popped yet. But it also just says 15-minute timer, so when I tried to do this a couple weeks ago, I think I set queue for 35 minutes and couldn't find anybody. Couldn't get anything done, and I just logged off. Oh, I'm at 83% and towards my snail. I really need to get that. We still have plenty of time. They haven't even uncapped Conquest yet. So plenty of time for that. I was gonna make my way to the Forbidden Reach. Let's see if I can remember my hotkeys here. Pre-made groups. You know, we're gonna look for Sparks. I don't know if these guys know that they can convert to raid. At least I'm pretty sure you can. I'm pretty sure you can get the Sparks quest done in a raid group. Bin reach, rares, war mode off. Oh, I don't want that. sparks and rares. Sign up for this one. Hopefully we can get this rocking and rolling. Get these 50 sparks done. Just check the homepage here, see if we can throw another video up. Hey, look, it's me. I'm on my own page, and I'm live. That's too funny, man. I don't want to put anything political up. I don't want to get boycotted. I have my own opinion, but I'll keep it to myself. Bellular. I love his videos. Been watching him for a long time. WoW is about to take a massive step forward. I think I'm gonna throw this one up.
This
We'll
is a
play this.
switch bike. This is a switch bike. No.
Well,
This has been a long time coming. A support spec is finally coming to World of Warcraft after literally decades of people wanting them. And honestly, now that we've looked into it, I am a lot more excited for this than I thought I would be. So, the Augmentation Evoker, or as we call it, the Augvoker, could be a sign of massively improved gameplay over the next few years for World of Warcraft.
Interesting.
Or it could launch, no one will play it, it goes boom, and supports are dead, meaning we never get the Bard or the Tinker. Which is it going to be? That is the mission of today. I'll start with a verdict on Augvoker itself. It is an amazing step toward support specs. It is a brilliant blueprint for future classes and specs doing the same sort of thing, and it might even be a crazy good way to fix one of WoW's longest running
I got
problems.
rooted.
DPS always being more important than anything else. But there is a but. There are a dozen ways on Blizzard's end where this could go wrong. And even using the Evoker itself for this may be a little bit funky, but we'll get to that. Now, the first thing to say is that this is still a DPS. It just has a lot of support elements woven through its abilities.
Oh my
The
gosh, I'm
easiest
dead.
way to describe it is Devastation Evoker, but a lot less complicated. So like the other specs, it's all about using the empowered abilities on cooldown, dumping essences into spenders, and then filling with either Living Flame
I'm
or
dead.
Azure Strike. And then, of course, the crazy interactions between all of
Here we
those.
go.
And what makes it an actual support spec is all those interactions and a few new key spells. Ebb and Might is the core of the spec. It gives a ton of primary stats, a portion of your own, to 4 allies for 10 seconds on a 30-second cooldown. And the name of the game is to extend this buff as long as you can. You've got a couple of ways to do this. A few are just seconds being added
Gonna have to
anytime
wait
you use
for
an
the
empowered
Hordes to get
spell.
done.
So either Fire Breath or your new one called Upheaval. These also trigger your Mastery, which gives extra versatility to 2 allies when cast.
Now we have a full group.
Their Essence Spender, Eruption, is probably the best way to extend Ebb and Might. And like the other specs, they of course have Essence Burst to proc free casts of this. The last way then is Breath of Aeons, which is basically a time-infused version of Deep Breath that also has its own thing. Enemies hit with it get temporal wounds, and those wounds collect 20% of the damage that your Ebb and Might buffed allies do to the mob for a bit, and at the end, it pops, shielding allies for that damage when talented as well. Pretty neat. So you can immediately see the theme here, right? You do simple DPS, rotation, but everything you're doing juggles up that buff. You want to make sure that people are doing their own jobs way better, and that buff helps them do that. That is the meat of this
Oh my
spec,
gosh,
which seems
dude.
simple enough, but that's like only 30%
can't even kill
what
this
they do.
damn
Their DPS
warrior,
is
dude.
simple on purpose to keep the rest of their abilities able to fulfill that long-awaited support fantasy. Like with Prescience,
hell these
a
people in the
buff
group are
that
doing?
you can drop on an ally to give them crit chance. This has a 20-second duration on a 12-second cooldown, so it's an active part of the rotation. With talents, it can proc Essence Burst and even add a 15% damage and healing.
Okay. While that video is probably very interesting, is not at all what I want to listen to right now. I'm very interested in how the augmentation evoker works, but I don't want to hear it right now. There's another Vinruki video. No, that's 4 years ago. I don't want that. Let's see. Just refresh. Let's see what YouTube just gives me. Mm-hmm. Huh. Doesn't seem to be anything. No, we just reacted to that. Plus, I don't really care about that. Top 5 soloable pieces of old content for sweet rewards. Most fun PvP class in 10.1. Talk about Marksman Hunter. Yeah, Marksman's pretty good. How about this? Dalaran Gaming. Could this potentially be the next WoW 11.0 expansion that follows after Dragonflight? Let's see.
Hey, do you want to start streaming? With All Pro, you get access to
Overwatch and even Warcraft will get its fair share of news and updates, and they usually save the most exciting announcements for this special occasion. Many in the community are expecting big Dragonflight changes, like a new roadmap beyond the patch 10.15, with more content updates for the patch 10.2 and 10.3 expected, as well as what comes next in the in-between updates. Though some are wondering if this BlizzCon will announce the next chapter of World of Warcraft, or at least give us a hint where the story may go beyond the Dragon Isles. Many passionate players have begun to look for clues and patterns which could help hint at the next expansion, and a new theory has been able to gain quite a bit of traction as of recently. Some believe that this could be the very next expansion for World of Warcraft patch 11.0 in the making, and in today's video I wanted to highlight this newest community theory by going over the hints, the themes, and the interconnected parts which could make a sea exploration expansion possible going forward. But right before that, most of you guys watching these videos are still not subscribed. However, the more of you remind, the more of you do. So let's keep it going. Subscribe to the channel and ring the bell. If you're watching these videos, this is
what it's like to farm sparks in the Forbidden Reach.
If you want to get more regular content on Dragonflight, or if you want to see more different format videos such as this one, of course, Discord link and all the other stuff in the description down below. First, we have this year's BlizzCon promotional material, which some in the community believe hints at the next chapter of World of Warcraft. At a first glance, we see a cast to represent all of the Blizzard's biggest titles, from Warcraft, Diablo, Overwatch, Hearthstone, and even the new Arclight Rumble Mobile Edition. And we've seen a pattern over the last few expansions,
lie away so we can
either hinting or deliberately leaking the next chapter of World of Warcraft, sometimes even in the key art such as this. Most in the community are convinced that they've done this for years through some of the in-game mounts, such as the Heart of the Aspects, released before Mr. Pandaria, which somewhat resembles a cloud serpent from Pandaria, to the Iron Sky Reaver, released before we got the Warlords of Draenor announcement, the Mystic Rune Saber, similar to the types of sabers you find around Suramar in Legion, released before we got our first glimpse of the next demonic expansion, the Stormwind Skychaser, and the Orgrimmar Interceptor, before we even knew that Battle for Azeroth was themed around the Alliance and the Horde conflict. Finally, with Shadowlands, the Vulpine Familiar and the Silverian Dreamer, roaming the forest of Ardenweald within the Shadowlands. What's important to note here is that the community sees these things as patterns, as the developers trying to hint at what the next expansion may be based on promotional materials or in-game items, and if this pattern still holds true, potentially we may even have items in-game right now that could help hint towards the next expansion. But we'll come back to the topic of
just kind of
in-game items
kamikaze
just
in
a
there
bit later, as we still have the BlizzCon key art to go over and see if we can glean any patterns from there as well. BlizzCon 2017 art had Jaina
2-minute res timer. Come on, man.
The middle.
Ridiculous.
This could have been because of the expansion announcement, where Jaina Proudmoore returns back into the spotlight as the Horde in the Alliance venture forth into expeditions to uncover the lands of Zandalar and the Kultiris, with Jaina playing a key role for the Alliance BFA storyline. A few years later, we had the BlizzCon 2019, which announced the Shadowlands expansion, with the BlizzCon art showing the Banshee Queen herself up front, the main antagonist that opened the doors into the lands of the afterlife. Though even before that specific BlizzCon, they were pretty blatant with some of their expansion leaks. Both Shadowlands and Dragonflight were practically spoiled. BlizzCon 2023 promotional art features a crowd all-time favorite war chief, my boy Thrall, which could mean that potentially he may be making his big return, taking center stage during this next expansion announcement if the pattern proves correct. But what role could Thrall play going forward? Could this mean the return of the favorite warchief back to lead the Horde, or potentially something more? From here on, the speculations of the community are going to get wilder and wilder, but this is what I wanted to highlight so far. Let's return back to the topic of in-game items, which could help us hint towards the next expansion. So far, we haven't seen too many new or out-of-the-ordinary mounts added to the in-game store, besides what is available every month from the trading post. In fact, the trading post is filled with unique cosmetics every single month.
Can't kill
there
anybody.
is a unifying theme that does bring some of them together. From the pirate outfit available day one, to the pirate hats popping up here and there month
This is
after
kind
month.
of ridiculous.
The treasure chest cloak cosmetic becoming available later on, as well as a handful of
Here
others
comes another 2-minute
thematically
res
similar
timer.
items month after month. All of these items have a pirate theme among them, but maybe there's other themes that could also interconnect with them as well. Which takes us towards the in-game shop, where some have noted that there have been some transmogs that have been popping up from month to month, with the Celestial Observer, the Fire Plume Regalia, as well as the newest Waveborn Diplomat. The Diplomat Regalia certainly stands out as an item of transmog by itself, with its overly emphasized shoulder pads, the hat as well as the plume, belts packed to the brim with adventuring supplies, parchments with maps, and much more. The community believes that the Diplomat attire fits fairly well with the trading post items, specifically when it comes to sea voyages and sea exploration, maybe even potentially a ship-focused, open sea expansion themes. Some have even noted that there is a book that exists on the Forbidden Reach, titled The Return of the Night Squall. This book is located on a pirate ship in the northwestern side of the island. It describes a young night elf who has fled his home of Darnassus long ago to board a pirate crew, and through the years have worked up the ranks to become a ship captain himself with a ship to call his own. This book details his many achievements, like discovering Pandaria before the Alliance or the Horde eventually found it, his plundering of treasures from both the Zandalari and the Kultiran villages, his raids on the islands in the southern seas.
See, man, the story of this game is just absolutely ridiculous. So in depth, so good. I mean, it sounds amazing. And then I don't know if that's like a hidden little Easter egg thing, that random book on a ship, but or if it's quest takes you over there. I don't remember seeing anything like that. So how very interesting that someone found that. Cool.
As he stashes the gold beneath the sands of Tel Abyb. After exploring all of Azeroth, Nightsquall got tired of everything there was to see and decided to go beyond the horizons out towards the west. His journey would lead him into stormy seas filled with monstrous creatures and even wild magic forces, which make the ocean impossible to cross for most sailors. Speaking about sailing out west, if you currently open up the world map and zoom out so that you can see all of the known continents of Azeroth, from Eastern Kingdoms, Northern Pandaria, Dragon Isles, you will notice that the continents on the map have been shifted slightly to the right, and there's now a bit of extra space available west of Kalimdor. This change was noticed by few in the community, likely by the same people that came across the story of Night Squall. Comparing this to the original world map from just the last expansion, there's definitely a good bit of space now out west as of this moment, and it's possible that new continents and more horizons could be placed there in the future. Parts of the map are even somewhat interactable, though as of right now they only show Outland out west. Might be an unintentional bug, or potentially the map is meant to be interacted with in the future, and Outland is just
I don't know
a
what we're
placeholder
doing here. I'm
of
just
sorts.
following these guys.
The final page is a call to arms for the Iron Tide, Bloodsail, Defias, and Freebooter to take up arms and join under Night Squall's flag. Follow him as the new admiral to create a force so large
guess we just
that
have to
no
kill
navy in Azeroth
so
can
many
match
of
up
these.
to them. And to help create this new powerful faction, they first need to plunder the secrets of the Dragon Isles. While nothing
Or
has
are we
been
actually going
officially
after a
confirmed,
rare?
it is possible that all
Maybe.
these items could hint at an expansion set in the open seas of Azeroth,
Oh my gosh.
where we set sail into new and undiscovered lands to expand beyond our very own horizons. Next, we've seen a lot of data mined in-game items over the last few patches, like buildings, houses, and other interiors, as well as a blue post from August of 2022, which may suggest that the next expansion could experience an old world revamp. Last August, the World of Warcraft narrative lead made a blue post discussing the timelines of the story progression. After the heroes have returned from facing death within the Shadowlands, roughly 5 years would pass before the pre-patch for Dragonflight. During that time, there is a transition period, as the Horde and the Alliance have to adjust to their new truce. Big events, however, such as the resettlement of Gilneas and the reclamation of ruins of Lordaeron, are events that players
Where's
will
the
be able
rare?
to experience for themselves, rather than having these stories reach their conclusion off screen. Together, this creates a scenario where a lot could be done here when it comes to the open world content, like possibly transforming Gilneas into a proper capital city, similar to Stormwind, or seeing Silverpine Forest and how
know
that
what
would
we're
look
doing.
like after the Alliance and Horde have ended their eternal conflict. Could we even see a new faction form and muscle their way into this power vacuum now present, as the two forces no longer locked in a constant struggle? What could a war-torn Darkshore or even an Arathi Basin look like to a fresh new player? And how would the quests and the stories be shaped in all of these zones based on the events from Battle for Azeroth? There is certainly a lot of potential to revamp all of the older zones with brand
Come
new
on,
stories, as well as new open world content, a
dig on
chance
bubble,
for new
dude.
as well as veteran players to return to these new zones and experience new
Right.
quest lines, which could become a focal point of the next expansion. And to me, having a character such as Thrall help us restore the old world
this boom
would
kid
feel
just
somewhat
taking it,
fitting of
dude.
a journey. Besides this, we also have a lot of unused in-game
Survived quite a
assets
bit.
which have been data mined over the last few patches, with buildings, military barracks, as well as other structures which are yet to be used anywhere
really
in
into
the
playing
open world.
balance.
For now, we just have images of what some of
Pretty
these
good.
models and additions will look like. Most of them are simply a high-resolution version of already existing buildings from what you might have seen when questing in the early levels of the human areas. Some in the community have suggested that these buildings and assets could be part of that old world refresher, or potentially even part of some sort of a player housing system, yet to be announced in a future update, similar to how garrisons were back in Warlords of Draenor, but hopefully more usable and even more customizable, which could also be placed in some of the areas we are to reclaim. But for now, this is all we have regarding the potential new expansion that we could maybe see announced at the very next BlizzCon, based on some of the more popular fan theories, in-game items, and data mined
what are we
assets.
doing here?
As always, most of these are just theories, usually born from wishful thinking by the community of what they may imagine the next expansion could be. So now I want to pass it off to you guys in the comments down below. How likely do you think that we could get sea exploration expansion in the future? What about an expansion focused on revamping and refreshing the older zones of the open world of Azeroth? What
that's a
features
very good
and content
possibility.
updates would you personally like to see from the next World of Warcraft expansion going forward? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. As per usual, if you guys enjoyed this video or found it informative, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I would very much appreciate it. And as always, in the description of every single video and live stream, we have a link to our Discord community channel. Probably the best place to reach out to me directly in case you want to let me know what you thought about this video or hang out with the rest of the community to discuss some of the upcoming changes. join our Discord to become part of the community. But otherwise, thank you all so much for watching this video. I do hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know all of your thoughts down below, and as always, I'll see all of you guys in another video.
Dalaran Gaming, another fine video. Speculation on what maybe the next patch might be, or next expansion. Yeah, I think it's very possible, man. Let's see. Is there a rare down here? What are we doing? I'm just following these people, man. I have no idea what we're doing. What's going on here? Gemstone of Return. This is what we came down here for. I just do damage. Not when I'm disarmed, though. Oh, Q popped. That took... I think that took about 17 minutes or so. Not entirely sure. So it looks like we are facing a Holy Paladin, Enhancement Shaman, Arms Warrior. I'm hoping that my keybinds are set up. Spells, yep, looks right. All right, here we go. Hopefully I don't embarrass myself. Been a little bit. And here we go, some solo shuffle. Let's see, we're going to target the Enhanced Shaman. I don't know. What's a good target? This is the problem. Like limited communication here. They're just trying to fucking one-shot our dude. Try to cause as much chaos as possible. Get Healing Stream Totem up. I'm gonna kill that. Kill that. I didn't do any CC on the healer, which was not smart. I burnt my shield way too early just because I was trying to get out of crowd control. That was dumb. So I'm trying to be a good player here and kill these damn totems. See, we're still just trying to train the shaman here. Interrupt his CC. Our own CC down. Wow, this is like really going for a while here. And bop. I got wings back. Lay on hands. I'm gonna go down. It's gonna be on me. I actually wasn't the one that died. That's crazy. As you can see, Paladins still do crazy damage. Lock. Okay. We're gonna hit the lock. CC the healer. Interrupt this. Throw hammers, 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 hammers. Lay down as much carnage as possible. Kill these damn totems. Back on the lock. Doing a good job porting around and like trying to get away from me. Just kind of a small area that they kind of funneled himself into. I'm not going to worry. I'm just going to keep on trucking. I like the fact that the shaman's also here because he's getting clipped. Try to throw some CC here. He's bopped. This lock should be running out of steam. Got wings back. I'm nice and healthy. Setting this fear. I got nothing to do. Keep laying it down. Polyed. Interrupt. This is the problem with WoW PvP, man. Like, look how fucking complicated this shit is. Like, turn around and kill the totems just so I can move. He's gonna try to Chaos Bolt. I'm just gonna get behind him so he couldn't get it off. I think he's bopped again. Right? Gonna lay on hands. Do anything we can to stay healthy. Throw hammers. Come on, and secure the kill. That was a good round. That was fun. Right? It also helps that I did 6.4 million damage in that go. Right? Don't tell me red paladins are not good. I have proof. Pretty crazy. Alright, I guess we're going to go lock again. He's Destro, man. I mean, it's hard. It's hard to play caster in solo. I think. Let's see. And I get feared right off the bat. Okay, he misses spear. Go ahead and do that. Do this. And interrupt all that crap. And just try to train him right off the get-go. Horrified. Alright. Blind. Interrupt. Stun. You're just laying as much destruction as possible. Beard. CC. See, outside of wings, man, I'm not very intimidating. Still do very consistent damage, but it's not, I don't hit not nearly as hard. Doesn't mean I should be ignored, though. I think our paladins have a little bit too much ranged abilities. Let's see. Hodge the healer again. Try to capitalize on this. Interrupt. And he should die. Yep. Okay. It's all about cycling CCs, man. Like, if you could play just with some basic concepts, man. Like, don't have to be the greatest at the game in order to secure a kill. Hey, that's a little loud. Either put headphones on or cut it down. Sorry about that. My son's over here playing Minecraft and that junk was super loud. Alright. Guess we're going lock again. He seems to be a really good kill target. So, like, just gonna open up. I'm not trying to move anywhere, so I really don't care about this grounding totem. We'll try to interrupt that. You can see just how complicated PvP is, man. Like, look at all this shit that's going on the screen. So much stuff. He's gonna fear and interrupt. Blind. Alright. And a Hodge, the push in for a Hodge. Oh, he's immune. Interrupt this. Throw some off heals. Just try to keep everybody healthy. What I like about playing hybrids, man. Not only do you do damn, but you can also assist a lot. Throw some heals and be generally useful, man. It's really nice gameplay, I think. Kill this healing stream totem. This guy, he's still immune. Just running through the rotation here, and he dies. So we're already positive, right? So we got our 3 wins. So this is a good match. And he quits. Okay. So this is typical behavior right here. Okay. I won 3 rounds. I was the top dog. Did the most damage. Had 2 killing blows. And I get 188 rating change. And that's it. No conquest. No nothing. This is the problem with the community. There's one more stupid round, man. Like, this guy couldn't wait one more round to leave. How ridiculous, man. Like, just how absolutely ridiculous, and how salty do you have to be as a player to just leave? Horrible, man. It feels so bad. It looks like no one wants to do. Yeah. Yeah, dude, he quit out, man. I waited all that time. 5 rounds, I win 3. I get 188 rating change. Like, oh, thanks, Blizz. Really appreciate it. I'm glad I waited 20 minutes for that. I mean, yeah, great. So my solo shuffle rating increased. Woohoo. I didn't get any conquest. I won 3 damn rounds. I agree. Yeah, man, I think you should get reset back down to 0, man. Like you just like nothing. Penalties are just not harsh enough. So stupid. I was utterly destroying that lobby. I was having so much fun, and I don't get the satisfaction of getting any conquests. Ridiculous. Bad, bad, bad. Here's more useless stuff that I'm never going to use. These crust. Ooh, I got an achievement. Woohoo. Well, what are we doing here? Is anybody doing sparks? Okay. And where are you guys at? Okay. I see them over here. Looks like we're headed down this way. Yeah, penalties are definitely not harsh enough. People quitting out. I mean, the queue wasn't too terribly long. I think I maybe waited 15 minutes or so. That's the one that you got to go under the water, huh? Always amazes me, man, like how people figure this stuff out. Maybe not so much now because there's the big icon, but still. Like before the people that write these add-ons, like how do they go and find all of this stuff? Oh man, there's a giant cave down here. Oh, there's a rare in here. That's a lot of time spent exploring. But that's cool. Can really hold your breath for a long time, man. Like, I would have done died. I would have drowned. And massive damage. Our paladin's so fun. Casually doing 90k DPS on this rare. Oh. 173k. Oh my gosh. Oh, let's hurry up. I got 20 seconds to accept. Come on, blast him. I have my finger on the trigger. 10 seconds. Come on, guys. Push. Push. Nope, I'm going to join. I'm not going to get the kill. Damn it. It's all right. All right, we are fighting Balanced Druid, Marksman Hunter, a Mistweaver Monk as the healer. Okay. Looks like I have a Destro lock on my team. That better not be the same goofball that just quit out. They're calling for Boomkin. Sounds good to me. I like that. Think he's going to be a hard target. Charge him. Yeah. Okay. I know how to play my tune. I remember back at the start of the expansion when it was totally a viable option to just smoke healers. That was super fun. I used to enjoy that, steamrolling somebody on my Pharaoh Druid. It's crazy fun. Throw some DPS on the monk. That's cool. I don't know what the hell these guys are waiting for. There he is. Bashes me, clones me. Endless CC. This. Bop. Shield. Interrupt. Cocoon. Alright, cool. We're getting cooldowns here. This is good. Oh my gosh. That dude got smoked. Brother. Oh, that marksman damage is crazy. Guess we're going lock. That dude went down like a sack of potatoes. Gotta kill quick, man. Come on, like, what are we talking about? Nothing gets killed quick anymore. Used to. Anyways. Way to fucking ruin the burst. Oh, he's just gonna line the healer? Is this what's gonna happen? Is this how this dude's gonna die? And I totally got turned around here. Oh, I'm stunned. Oh, I bop. Oh, I heal. I help, I help, I help. And... oh, come on. What the hell is happening here? I'm not getting anything accomplished. This dude was dead. Hodge the healer. Of course, I get feared as soon as I decide to CC. And I get CC'd off of that. Blind. I'm coming for you. Keep lining the healer. Hodge. Don't have bop. Throw a couple heals. Try to help. Damn, dude. Intense. These guys are this one is not successful, man. This is bad. Not doing anything worthwhile here. This fucking slow bullshit. Jeez. Anyways, I just line him. Can't do damage if he can't see me. Yeah, group up, man. That way I can just cleave the hell out of all of you. That's fine with me. I'll hodge the healer. I don't mind this. Come on, buddy. Let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Come on, hammers. Oh my gosh. Go. Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. Kill, 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 kill. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Oh, what's up with this hunter, man? This is awful. I guess we're going hunter. Fine with me. Anyways. There's a stupid observer. Kill that. Put some DPS on the priest. Where's the hunter? There he is. Come on, buddy. There's turtle. Some DPS on the priest. A little micro CC action. And do we secure the kill? Do we get the kill? Do we get the kill? Finally? Yes, finally we win one. For fuck's sakes. Jeez. See what happens when I am actually able to let loose? Fun. What sucks, man, is I'm going to have to play one more extra round of solo shuffle in order to complete the quest. That's crap, if you ask me. Okay, they're calling Hunter again. I'm cool with that. Charge him. Yes, charge him. And just kill the priest in the opener. How about that? We just do that. Put a lot of pressure on him. Bop you. Hammers. Boy, they are tearing up my lock. This guy needs to be stopped. I'm cycloned. I can't do nothing to help. And we double CC the druid. That's awesome. Come on. Yes, yes, yes. Come on. Here we go. You're dying. That warlock was popping off. He did tons of damage. I think we go lock. He says, sure. We'll see. I don't know, man. Balanced druid. Left to free cast. This could be bad. right. Let's see. Try to avoid this. Try to CC. Just go in. Come on, hammers. Throw hammers. Throw hammers. Throw hammers. Throw hammers. Let's go. And he's back up to full health. This is not bad. It's okay. I am cloned. I'm gonna throw Bop just to keep him healthy. Bubble. That dude just demolished me. Heals would be nice. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, let me CC this. Cocoon should be dropping. This lock is all over the fucking place. He's good, man. He's a good player, for sure. But he should be out of gas right here. Good night, sir. Match complete. We got our 150 conquest and 275 rating. Will you look at that? Holy shit. We're up to 1229 now. Sexy. Nope. Okay. Spawned into a rare. See if I can get away from him. That's what I thought. Well. What did I get? What did I get? What did I get? What did I get? What I'm looking for is patterns, man. Patterns actually sell for quite a pretty chunk of change on the auction house. All right. Well, the wifey's home. I've been streaming for quite a while. I think I'm getting ready to call it a day. My deepest appreciation to anyone who tuned in. Unfortunately, I didn't catch any followers today, but that's okay. We're gonna keep trying. You can also catch me on Twitch at Ranger the Trash Gamer. Had a lot of fun. The PvP at the end was very cool. Looks like they have fixed the queues, Kyle. So whenever you get a chance, like you want to do some solo shuffle, it looks like it's back on. Then doesn't feel too bad. But with that, I'm Ranger the Trash Gamer, and I'm out. You guys be safe.